What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the DLLS Cowboys podcast. At the Combine, we got George Pickens news and everything that you need to know that's going on at the Combine. Welcome in. Let's start this show. Meow. What is up, friends of ours, and welcome into the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We are live in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's a lot of Indiana.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
And we're out here, and we have Cowboy news, so we're actually rolling the show a little bit early today. It's almost like an emergency podcast combined with the show. We were just like, what if we just started the show? Because we're here, and we
walked
got
up
news.
like, let's just do it.
So we're going to do it live.
We're
going to do it live, and it's good to be with you guys today. We appreciate you guys who hang out with us. Please hit the like button on your way in. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the DLLS Sports channel. And we appreciate y'all. Hello, my name is Jeff.
Can I give you something messy?
I am next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
You know I'm Captain Messy.
I did the messy drops for you guys.
Oh, you had the messy
I have a feeling.
We're not getting messy
I had
today.
a feeling about
Not
today.
getting messy.
We're not getting messy today. We might get messy today. Here in about 14 minutes, Brian Broaddus is going to join the broadcast. He's over here
packing his draws.
He's packing his draws. He just finished a show, and then he'll do a show, and then he'll do another show, and then he'll also hop on our show.
Yeah.
Because why not? He doesn't like doing anything except working. And we are at the Combine, so what better time to visit with Brian Broaddus? But the news broke just a bit ago that the Cowboys are planning to put the franchise tag on George Pickens today.
Mm-hmm.
It's going down today. So what I have to say to that is
Good luck. Buckle up.
as the Joker said, and here we go. How's this one going to play out, Jesse?
This is so I'm
Don't be messy.
I'm trying not to be messy.
How's this one going to go?
I'm trying not to be messy, but I'm also I don't want to be messy, and I don't want to prematurely speak. I'm just going to say we had a very interesting, and it better be interesting.
It was interesting.
It was very interesting night last night on accident.
On accident. We did not go seek out
On accident.
important people.
No,
but we stumbled upon them.
We just went to a place that we have gone to for the last
Five
nights.
straight meals?
Five
Four?
straight
Five
meals in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And we just so happened to run into some very important people. And because of liquid courage on the
What?
part of Jeffrey Cavanaugh,
That's true. That was me, yeah.
conversations were started.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm sober, like I'm a social anxiety person. You
Yes.
watch me try to get ready to ask a question. But I had a few,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
I didn't say "Hey," but just "Hey."
Yeah. And
What's
so
up, important guy?
and so I'll just say this. The Cowboys are tending to franchise tag George Pickens. Buckle up. Buckle up.
We're
This
hanging
is-
out with David Muguleta.
Yeah,
last
this-
night.
this-
David
just
Muguleta last night for a hot second.
Just buckle up. This will be a messy ride.
Yeah, and so let's go through the dirty details and the dynamics of the franchise tag, because this should be different than Micah a year ago. Because if you'll remember, that was not a franchise tag.
Correct.
That was, he just had played his first 4 years and he wanted an extension before his 5th year. The rules of the franchise tag make things a little bit different. So George will count $28 million or whatever on the cap for 1 year while they attempt, we believe, to work out a long-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
They have until July 15th to do that.
Correct.
If they don't get something done, you can't.
Correct.
It's over.
Correct.
So, like, whatever tactics go on to try to force their hand to give us our money, if they don't do it by July 15th, it's over.
Right.
You can't get one anymore. And so from that point forward, it could move differently than the way that it did for Micah. Like, Micah had his back hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can do the same play when you've lost the ability to get a long-term deal regardless. Like, whatever you're trying to do from that point forward, you can't get a long-term deal. It's 1 year.
Right.
It's over. And so I think that makes it a little bit different. But I do think we'll probably see some of the same stuff for the next February, March, April, May, half of June. For about 5 months, you're probably going to get the same stuff if they don't get something worked out beforehand.
And on top of that is they are gearing up to win, right? Like they're not looking to take less than what they feel like they're worth. And so that's something that the Cowboys have to be prepared for in this process. I don't know how much wiggle room they're willing to have. But George Pickens and his representation, they're going to try, and they've been successful in doing it in the past, getting every single dollar that they can.
And they
should. And they should.
Yeah.
And they should.
Yeah. But I do think, like, this one is a tough one for everybody, I think, because the receiver market is what it is. George Pickens is coming off the best year of his career and one of the best years of any wide receiver in football, and he has all the ability in the world. So if I represent George Pickens, I mean, I'm eyeballing the top of the market.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to eyeball, and where a negotiation generally starts, what makes this difficult is the franchise tag amount lags behind the actual top of the market.
Right.
So if you represent George Pickens, your initial number is going to be huge. Like, you're going to be like, yeah, 40. And they're going to be like, what?
Right.
And they're going to be like, okay, what about 30? Because we're doing the math on the next 2 years. If we tag you twice, probably works out to about a $31 million average. So let's start there. And you're like, well, CD makes 34 and a half. I got 3 $20 million defensive tackles. I got a $60 million quarterback. And you want to beat CD's number. And I think this one will be a tough one to work out. And I do go back to, if you want to say that the Cowboys are moving differently this offseason, the way you prove it to me is you don't get anywhere near July 15th. And I hear that you got a long-term deal done with George Pickens.
In the words of Tank Lawrence, when you talk about, three $20 million dudes, $60 million quarterback, $34 million receiver.
Not my problem.
Not my problem. It's not my problem. And they would be absolutely right in saying that. And if anybody is out there that's like, oh, they should be, team friendly. We went and got you from the Steelers and we giving you this new life. And that's fandom. That's not how reality actually works.
Right.
But I thought you made a very, very great point a day or two ago when you talked about,
thank you,
when you went to go get George Pickens.
Yeah.
There should have been 5 plans that you had.
What if he's good? What if he's amazing?
Playbook.
What if he's not good? What if it's a problem? What if it's like, what are we doing moving forward?
And I think that is how forward-thinking people work. They're saying, all right, if we're going to get this guy, what are we expecting? Are we expecting a 1-year rental? Are we expecting this thing to blow up in our face? What if this thing goes really well? What if this thing goes beyond what we can think of? Now, a part of it, as I do think that the Cowboys were, when they went and got George and how some of these things were moving, I don't believe, for whatever they want to tell you, that the Micah Parsons situation was a part of their plan. I don't believe that. I will never believe that.
No, it wasn't.
That was an
Jerry
emotional,
got mad at Micah.
That was an emotional move that happened, and we also found out more about that last night. That was an emotional move that happened, and it shifted the way that this season was supposed to go, because you got rid of the best pass rusher, second best pass rusher in the league. Yeah. In conjunction with that, because in this is scientific. People spend more money when they're happy. When you're happy, you want to spend.
I don't know. When I'm sad, I get on Uber Eats like a mofo.
That's hunger. I'm talking about spending. I'm like, when you're happy, you spend more at the mall. You're willing to give more to people. When you that's scientific. When you're happy, you spend more.
Okay, well, I need to get sad.
Yeah,
because I got to be tightening the belt right now.
You're just a reckless spender.
I'm about to get a knee replaced. I got to tighten the belt. Sorry.
But I think the Cowboys, they didn't. What they thought the season was going to be. They thought this season was going to be wildly more successful than it actually was. They didn't plan for this thing to be 7-9-1. They planned for this thing to make a playoff run, to be in the playoffs. And I think
up until a week before the season,
that would have justified. I think the coaches may have shifted their thought process.
Yeah.
I still think Jerry and company believed, we're going to get better because we had Kenny Clark and we're going to do some other things. And they were waiting they had very high hopes on Overshown, all those other guys who were on the, as Clarence would say, on the come to be a part of this thing and really blow up. I think that they thought it was going to be way more successful, that it was going to be something that they looked back on and said, you know what, let's go ahead and do it because we're close. And then you go 7-9-1 and you go, we go 7-9-1, and the guy that we thought was just going to come in and be a complimentary piece to our guy, he came in, our season sucked, and his stock did this.
He's going toe-to-toe with our guy.
And so now you're like, we didn't have the success that we wanted and or needed. And the guy that we thought to come in to be a vertical threat, maybe just a red zone threat, also came in and now all of a sudden became, some people, not me, but like, this is comparable in wide receiver one level stuff.
He played as a wide receiver one.
Yeah, and they weren't ready for that.
To put him against CD.
They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for this thing to go the way that it went. And now they're sitting here like, we have a problem. We have a good problem necessarily on our hands because the guy that we thought was just going to be a piece now became something greater than that. And we didn't have the success to match it that you now have to figure out. Your defense is absolutely deplorable.
Right.
And now you have to fix that. They didn't expect that.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to go 7-9-1, and they did not expect George Pickens to go 1,429 yards, 93 catches, and 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think they're in a really weird team-building spot where your defense was so bad, and this organization, when they change coordinators, they have a history of I saw this from our buddy Bobby Belt. They have a history of when they get a new coordinator on pick your side of the ball, they invest big time in those off seasons for that new coordinator. And now you compound that with the fact that it's not just a new coordinator, and they always invest more. They sign more free agents. They spend more money. They use more draft capital on the side of the ball of a new coordinator. It's not just that. It's coupled with the fact that his side of the ball was one of the worst in the history of the sport, and you have so much to do over there. And then when you're just talking about, another receiver at the top of the market, like the Cowboys aren't great at these sorts of negotiations.
Yep.
They go top of the market when they have to. They did it with Dak. Almost did it with CD. They got that one done.
Did it with Zeke?
But I think, once he made them, they eventually lose.
Right.
And you're talking about a player who just had a great year with an agent that has a history of doing a really good job of avoiding the franchise tag for his players and doing whatever he has to not let them keep the tag on.
He has not had a client that played on the franchise tag.
Okay.
Like he doesn't have a client that he represents that has ever played on the franchise tag.
And I think as a front office, you could hardball it. You could say you can do whatever you want until July 15th. And if you think that with this particular player, that let's say you mic it, my back, that's tough. Can't really be out there, but I'm here, so you will pay me. I want to play. That's tough, my back. I think that's tough for George Pickens because then your career looks like going into another offseason. Your career looks like 2 years with a team where you've performed well. That team didn't want you. You were always as talented as you are, and that team said, we kind of need to get him out of here.
Right.
One great year with a new team, and then you sat out. So 3 of the 4 years have, as you would hit, in theory, free agency or another tag or whatever. So I think you could hardball it, and eventually he's got to show up and ball out if he wants to get his money, I think. But We're probably in
don't
for
know
a
if-
messy little run
Yeah,
here.
I don't know if I don't. Okay, well, let's carry this over. We'll talk more about this.
Okay, we'll keep rocking some Pickens talk. Coming up next, we're going to have Brian Broaddus from Crown Global Media and The Fan. He's going to join us next and talk about the NFL Draft, the Combine. We may kick around some Pickens stuff. All of that is coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. But first, let's talk about our friends at Prize Picks, who we love very much. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. It makes every game a little bit more interesting, is what I'm a firm believer of. You know, when your football is over like it is right now, you just got to find your new sport to have some fun with on Prize Picks. Maybe go do some golfing. But whatever it is, they have all of the sports for you: basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And all you got to do is say more or less on 2 to 6 different player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Pick from all them sports and have yourself a good time. They got a new feature as well. Prize Picks has early payouts. If you like the way it's going, you want to get out of there early, no problem. So download that app. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup with the code DLLS. It's Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Also, want to shout out our friends at Surfsharks. Surfshark develops humanized privacy and security solutions to safeguard your data and your privacy online. What it allows you to do is virtually travel the world, browse privately by encrypting your internet activity, blocking ads and malware that get in your way, and more. Using a VPN, it's like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure. When you step your foot outside, it covers your whole online activity. Once your device connects to the internet, all the information is encrypted. That way, your online activity is hidden from the snoopers and the trackers. They got a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. Take your time. Try out the service. Experience the whole Surfshark VPN potential. And check out their antivirus, search alert, and alternative ID products to help you as well. Surfshark.com/DLLS. You use that code DLLS at checkout. You get 4 extra months and a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee of Surfshark VPN. All right, it is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. John, you can have your clock back. George Pickens is what'd you say? Oh, we do have our combine sale going on, which is great. We, instead of $80 a year for being a diehard, you get it for $36 right now. And the NFL Draft's a good time to get signed up for that because you get access to Fran Duffy's draft rankings and all that stuff. You still get your free T-shirt. So sign up to be a diehard or else, which of course is not a threat. We are joined now by Brian Broaddus, and we are going to keep working our way through picking stuff throughout the show as well as he's getting franchise tagged today. But we're also right out here at the NFL Combine, and it's draft season, and I love draft season, and Brian Broaddus loves draft season. And Brian Broaddus is my draft dad. He's a lot of people's draft dads, honestly. He's
true.
I think he, like what Mel Kiper did for Big Draft, Brian Broaddus did for DFW Draft.
Facts.
You got a lot of people started in this game, and I will be forever grateful for that because I don't even remember how it started. Like, I think I was a part-timer out at Valley Ranch running Garrett pressers, and somehow we talked, and you were like, if you really like the draft, come out here tonight and watch film. And I don't think you thought I would, and you're like, come out 5 nights a week. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. That's the old football challenge right there. Let's see if you're really serious about this.
We'll see how much he really wants to scout here. Great to be with you guys, by the way. I think it actually started because of you and Kevin Turner. Now, I'd been doing stuff with like Dane Brugler.
Right.
You know, Dane got his start with us. Actually, Ed Cahill way back in the day at DallasCowboys.com when we were at Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
Ed came up with the idea for the draft show. And so I'm thinking,
Good idea.
man, we need to – I can't carry this thing by myself.
And you thought, man, there's this great guy on at night with Arnie Spain.
Well, it's
Shout
what
out
I actually shout outs Artie. He's hilarious. But I think what happened with you was I just wanted to make sure that if we were talking about the draft on the radio, that we didn't sound like idiots.
Yeah.
I think that's really how it got started with you and KT and others that, you know, I wanted to make sure in our market that like when let's try and talk about this in an intelligent way.
Yeah.
Let's not have to go to some book and kind of figure things out. Let's really sit down if we have access to the tape, which I had.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a big ask for guys like yourself that were doing these long shows and then KT doing shows and But I've been really fortunate. David Hellman coming on board. Hellman got thrown into by like when he came with the Cowboys. Like Derek Eagleton goes, anybody want to put Hellman on a show? I go, I'll take Hellman.
I'll take that.
I'll take
Tiny
Hellman.
Jim.
Yeah, and Hellman became that, and so we've kind of developed this group that, and then getting others involved too. Zach Wolchuk, Aisha Morrison, all these people they've kind of taken it and run with it. And I think overall though, man, I'd scout with any of these guys and gals, that we've worked with.
So you mentioned that Christian Parker, the defensive coordinator, was
Yeah.
on the fan this morning.
We had great questions for him, I thought.
And a lot of great information for Cowboy fans about
Yes.
what this thing is going to look like.
I tried to do that, yeah.
My question for you is, the more and more you learn while we're here at the Combine, does it change anything that you think about potential player fits for the Cowboys, names to keep in mind, et cetera?
Smart and ability to separate. I think defensively, I don't think they're going to have any players that don't have high football IQ. Now, there's players that have high football IQ that aren't really great players.
Yeah, that won't work either.
That's tough. I mean, that's all
There's
of a sudden,
a baseline here.
yeah, you've got to find. But I think they're going to. I asked him the question about, and I said, "Is there as you're watching this combine, are there players that fit your eye when it comes to your scheme?" And he says, "Yeah, if you let me talk to these guys and let me watch them and stuff," he goes, "there are some guys that I absolutely could see being a part of this." But I think the way that he was describing how he's going to play his scheme, he talked about one of the better tackles he's ever played with or coached was Kenny Clark when it came to playing a gap and a half and how to play the scheme. So that's a positive right there. So you kind of have an idea of watching a Kenny Clark, what you might need to get at defensive tackle. So yeah, it's encouraged me to. I didn't think that scheme was going to. I didn't think it was going to play as downhill as it sounds. So that's encouraging. I thought maybe he was going to take linebackers and kind of be a little bit more read and then react. But it sounds like that it's going to be an attacking scheme, playing a lot in his nickel. His nickel is going to be really, really huge. So they're going to have to kind of figure that out as well.
Brian, I think that what you said about, the guys up front takes me into my question, just being here in Indy and you're running a lot of different people and you have a lot of different conversations with handlers and agents, and you start hearing the conversations and what this defense now turning into a 3-4.
Right.
And the way that you have to address that up front. There may have been some talks behind the scenes about maybe some guys maybe not happy about where they're going to have to play up front in this 3-4 defense. Is that something that we have to wait and see? Are there guys that you look at and you go, may not fit this particular front right now?
I wonder about Osa Odigizua. I wonder about him. I wonder him playing a 4-eye. Him
Explain the 4-eye, please.
Inside of the tackle.
Yeah.
So he's really he's so used to playing a 3, which is outside eye of the guard. So
scooting over a little bit.
Yeah, you're scooting over there, that gap. And I wonder, though, his game is really about the quickness and about getting up the field. I wonder about his ability to play a gap and then get back too, and there's times where I think the power or lack of power in his game could be a little bit of a problem. I think that's why you've seen them interview a lot of these defensive tackles.
Oh yeah, isn't that wild though?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're trying to hunt some 4 eyes is what they're trying to do. In the old 3-4 scheme, you play a 5, that would be head up on the tackle. They want you, they're going to play shades, and shades we mean is on the shoulders or inside eye. But yeah, I think that to me that Osa would be the one guy that I'm not really sure how he is going to fit in, or they're going to try with him, but I wonder how it's going to work overall.
And as someone like yourself who has been on the scouting side of things and your job is to go out and find these particular players for that coach's scheme, sometimes guys get washed out because a new defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator may come in and you go, this guy just isn't the guy that I thought was going to fit in my. And we've seen that, right? We dealt with that all last year with Eberflus
I think
and guys.
I think Clowney is the guy, if you want to be honest. Stephen Jones initially was very much a Clowney. Oh, yes, we want to do something with Clowney. And now we get here to the combine, and he's like, you don't hear it as much.
Yeah.
You're not. I think that Christian Parker's kind of come in and said that to your point.
Could there be movement, though? Could there be movement with guys that have been on this team that the Joneses may have said, hey, these are cornerstone guys. But when Christian Parker sits down, he goes,
they're not.
I don't.
Oh no, I absolutely I think so. I think we're to the point now where Maris Leofau, when they're going to move him as an outside linebacker, and Maris Leofau I think is really good playing attacking and things like that. But I don't think we'll see about the coverage stuff at Notre Dame. He had some times where he covered, but I think we're to that point now where we're moving guys around to try and figure out if they can do it. But if they can't do it, then they'll probably moved off the roster. That's the thing. They've drafted really poorly on defense, and I wanted to say this yesterday to Will McClay. He's like, yeah, we sit in our room and laugh at you guys doing mock drafts. And I wanted to say, yeah, we sit in our room and laugh at you for busting on picks. Like we laugh at, why would you take Junior Fehoko in the 4th round when we all had him in the 7th, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, you can laugh at us all you want, but we're laughing right back. They need to do a better job. The reason they're in the situation right now is because talent-wise on defense is they have missed on a lot of picks, 2nd-round picks, 3rd-round picks. Unfortunately, they had a 2nd-round pick that passed away, but they've struggled, and now they're going to have to go out and play in free agency. They're going to have to focus on the defense because Rod Marinelli and then also Dan Quinn. And then Mike Zimmer and Eberflus. You've had 4 different defensive coordinators come in here picking players, and none of them seem to really be really good fits.
Who is your favorite guy at 12 or 20 to help Ezeraku rush the quarterback?
Well, like I said, people are gonna get. I think now with the way that everybody's talking. With the way I'm still a Ruben Bain fan.
In this defense, would he be standing up and rushing?
Yeah, you could probably stand him up, or you could put him on the other side. I think hand down play. I mean, I think he's got the flexibility to play he's got the power to play maybe the 4-eye or play inside there's a lot of different ways you could do. I mean, I think that Mesidor, the other end, would be a little bit more of a stand-up guy for them. But I'll take Ruben Bain. If nobody wants Ruben Bain, I mean, listen, I watched 17 games of this guy play with short arms and win win through the season, win in the playoffs, win against quality offensive tackles, probably tackles he's going to play against better in the college than he's going to play in the pros. Listen, when you're a guy that's deficient, maybe physically, there are ways to find ways to win, and he finds ways to win. His whole game is built off not letting tackles get their hands on him.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff, you know all about that deficiency, right? It's not about the size of the ship; it's about the motion in the ocean.
That's correct. But his motion of the ocean is really good. Yeah. I think in some ways, this is going to sound insane. I think in some ways he makes the fact that his arms are shorter work for him because you can be quicker when it's time to club. When he does a great job of it not hurting him.
And that's what I want you to briefly explain to the fans because we talk about it a lot and we understand the lingo of short arms. What does it mean? But to the common fan, they're like, well, why is this short arm thing such an issue? He's a damn good player.
Yeah.
And from a scouting perspective, when you talk about these measurables,
we're idiots.
Jesse, you think your arms are longer than mine?
I don't know.
If they're not, it'll be close. But here's a fun little example for you.
Okay.
When I rush you like this, touch my chest. Like if you're turned sideways, yes. If you're trying to block me, and I get you like that, you're not getting to my chest.
Right.
Like it's not your arms have to be 50 inches.
This is, and I'll say this: I had a scout in the league tell me something not too long ago. Because we were talking about arm lengths and stuff like that. And he goes, "When's the last time you saw an offensive tackle fully extend on somebody?"
It doesn't happen. Joe Thomas talked about it.
And all of a sudden he goes, "If that guy's fully extended on me, I'm probably I'm probably got my balance over the top of my feet. And what does a guy like Bane do? He grabs you, gets around you,
Right,
rips
yeah.
underneath you.
Ghost
Yeah,
you.
yeah, ghost you. Yeah, I mean, there's ways like him, Howell. These guys, they all know how to rush the passer. And listen, I'm not sitting there saying that I think this kid's kind of a little bit of a freak of nature. The way that Sonny Styles worked out yesterday. You're kind of like. But you're watching Sonny Styles, and Jeff, I'll give you credit for this because on the shows I've done with you, you were very much a Sonny Styles fan. But you knew you're watching the tape.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there thinking, hey, Broaddus, by the way, he's going to jump this, he's going to jump 40-something inches, and he's going to jump broad jump. You weren't saying that. You were talking about the tape. I think that's the thing that scouts lose track of. We get in that mode of we can't do this, he can't do this. Well, watch Bane play for 17 weeks, and you could see how he plays at that kind of level. So, yeah, I like the Sonny Styles thing. I didn't think he was going to get there anyway. I think Sonny Styles was a top 8 player, and what happened was media scouts just kept putting him back. You're kind of figuring out that Sonny Styles is actually should be further up the food chain than where media scouts initially had him.
Well, just let me hope. I saw 3 mock drafts come out yesterday, and 2 of them had him going 15th. So just let me dream. Just let me dream.
Well, and maybe it's maybe you get your CeeDee Lamb surprise.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Maybe you get
maybe it'll be Caleb Downs.
See, that's another one. There's good people. I had some people were talking about that some of these guys. We were the corners, the top of the corner room, and they weren't so much worried about McCoy at Tennessee, like not working out and stuff. They were worried about Delane and what he would measure and what he would run.
Yeah, and I saw his measurements this morning. I think he passed.
Yeah.
Delane's 5'11".
But he's not going to work out at the combine. See, this is as the former scout, I really, whether we were at the old RCA Dome, Hoosier Dome, I really did appreciate when kids put their hands on the line and did the work.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids had workouts yesterday where they're not going to ever have to do anything ever more about working out.
You can just
say, listen, I'll stand on my combine numbers.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's cool. And you know what? You have that right
to
tell me when I come in there, hey, can I get you to do? No, I'm going to stand on my combine numbers.
Yep.
Gotcha. I got no fight with you here.
Brian Broaddus, make sure you're following Crown Global Media, both on YouTube and on Twitter. On Twitter, there's no O. It's CRWN. Make sure you're following that enterprise. Also on the Fan, you can hear Brian all over the place, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
You're my draft dad, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you being such a good son. If I had to power rank you, I would have probably traded you away a long time ago.
Yeah, but that's because you would get great compensation.
I would
highly coveted in the market.
I probably would have taken a warm 6-pack and a lawn chair.
Yeah, what kind of beer?
You damaged goods now.
All right, that's Brian Broaddus. We appreciate him. Coming up next on the DLS Cowboys podcast, I'm seeing kind of conflicting reports, but we might have a big story here. Todd Archer says it's the non-exclusive franchise tag on George Pickens, which is a lower dollar amount, and you're letting the league negotiate with him. So this could get wild. We'll talk about it next.
Told y'all to buckle up
on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. It's a great time right now to be a DLLS viewer. It's a great time now to get signed up to be a diehard because of the time of year that it is. Not only are we having a sale right now, but we also, you get access to the Diehard Draft Guide. It's our buddy Fran Duffy, who does work with PHLY, and he is our ALLCITY draft expert, and he's absolutely incredible at it. He has ranked and seen so many players that when you get into the NFL draft, you could have his board pulled up, his rankings pulled up, his scouting reports pulled up, and you get down into day 3 of this sucker, and you'll still have detailed scouting reports right there at your fingertips that you can navigate because you're signed up to be a diehard. And so I think Fran is really great at what he does, and I think that having access to that is an incredible value for you. It's a great resource because I'm a draft nerd. When you're watching the draft, I'll have my board. He'll see more players. Fran does it year-round, so he's going to see more players than I am. I'm going to get about 150 in. He's probably going to have about 17,000. And so no matter where you are in a draft, you can cruise around and you can get to know what you think about these players, what Fran thinks about these players, and you'll have a reference point for the entire draft. And I think that's a really cool experience to have access to something like that. And that's so that's Fran's work, and you want to have access to it. And we're having a sale right now because we're at the Combine for just this week, where instead of $79.99 for a year of diehard status, it's $36. and you still get all of the perks of being a diehard when you pay that. You get the free T-shirt that you can pick out. I don't know if it's Stay Shiesty season or not. I don't know if we're setting. I don't know. Go ahead and get that 88 Club shirt just in case.
That one you know for sure.
Play it safe.
Yeah.
Get that 88 Club shirt. We'll keep talking about what's going on with George Pickens and in real time react and try to get to the bottom of Todd Archer and if anybody else is disagreeing, because I saw somebody say that somebody else says it's a different way. Anyway, sign up to be a diehard and do that or else, which of course is not a threat. All right, it is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We are live in Indianapolis at the Combine. And yeah, so I'm just going to read you this here little tweet.
Before you do that, Clarence did not oversleep. He's not fired. He's shoddy. Oh,
don't say where.
Don't.
Clarence
okay.
is doing what he does, getting
Yes.
scoops, and we knew that he would be out getting scoops. And so I'm sure that whatever Clarence is doing, which we know exactly what he's doing, just know that it will end up benefiting the show and the flow of information because that's what he does. So this from Todd Archer. Told the tag, which has now been turned in, is the non-exclusive tag, allowing teams to talk to Pickens when free agency begins. The actual figure will not be known until the cap is finalized for 2026. So they did this with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and nobody bid because I think everybody knew, like, they'll match whatever we do. What's the point of this? And we would have to – well, I don't think the compensation would matter if you needed a quarterback. But in theory – if someone else were to sign George Pickens, they have to give you 2 first-round picks on the non-exclusive tag.
Right.
That is negotiable. So, like, that's what it says. But then somebody, if they're very interested, could be like, this is the contract we would offer you, and then turn around and call the Cowboys. But like, obviously, we're not going to give you 2 first-round picks. Could you do? Would you do? But they're going to let the market, in theory, offer George Pickens anything you want, and maybe they use that as a tool to come to an agreement with an agent where it's like, yeah, show us. Okay, we can do that. And it's like, you go get your market, bring it to us.
And also, in theory, it's a way of saying, well, we didn't set this market, the league did, and so we just matched.
You're saying 40. I'm letting you see that's not true.
Right.
Go ahead. Sign with someone for 40. Now, they could do that, and then the Cowboys could match it, or they could not match it. And in theory, as the team, you could still hardball it and be like, we're not negotiating on the compensation. The non-exclusive tag is 2 first-round picks.
Right.
And that'll change if a team wants to do it. I don't think anybody in the league is going to do that knowing that. And so we're going to play chess here. We're going to play chess or checkers. I don't know. But the league will have a say when free agency starts if somebody wants to offer George Pickens whatever you want and then see if the Cowboys would accept considerably less in compensation.
I told you guys last night in my tweet, buckle up. This is going to be the Cowboys have the Diehard bus.
Yeah, they got the Diehard bus.
And we talking about we have the Messi mobile. Like, this is gonna be in between those two.
Yeah, I'm curious to see because again, like they did this with Lamar Jackson and teams just knew. Like I think they just knew you would match it. And in the Pickens case, it may just be a cheaper way for the Cowboys because if they say, yeah, the cost is 2 first-round picks, sign them if you want to, nobody's going to. And on the non-exclusive tag, you save a couple of bucks versus the exclusive franchise tag. So they might just be going cheapy and like, hey, you don't want to take what we want to give you? We're going to lowball the franchise tag. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
You don't think that ticks off a little bit? George Pickens and his
probably.
And his,
so you just had to hope that they find a way to be on good terms where you're like, can we do this in good faith? Like you go find out what your market is, if anybody's even willing to negotiate it, and let them know that in theory, like you have to be tight to do this because you'd be like, let them know in theory, we would trade and we wouldn't require 2 first-round picks in theory, and go tell us what you get and show us what you get, and then we'll talk about. Do we want to do that? But I don't know if they're tight enough to play out that game. Like the Cowboys, if somebody was like, hey, we were thinking about offering Pickens. Would you give him up for a 2, though? Nope. 2 1s. Oh, okay. So I guess we don't need to talk to Pickens.
But I think this is going to be very interesting.
It better be interesting.
The Cowboys are playing the long game in this, but you're doing it with a guy who is the best in the league right now?
The agent?
The agent.
I mean, I think the agent who represents all of the best players that you have are the two, probably considered the two best, right? David Mulugeta
Right.
and Todd France.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so
They don't take low balls. Like, I'd be curious to know what happened in the T. Higgins situation because he, I think, had David Mulugeta.
Yep.
And then to get his deal done, switched agents.
Correct.
And if I were to bet on those details, I would bet that was David Mulugeta saying, it can't be on my resume going below market.
Right.
Find someone else to do that. I'm good on money.
Right.
I don't need your 3%. If
Right.
that's what you want to do and you really want to be here and do that, have someone else do that because I'm not putting it on my resume.
And just from our experiences with him, he's a very calculated man.
Yes.
He's a very like he
Yes.
has the approach of an assassin.
Yeah, and if
Not-
you're
not
just a
emotional.
diehard, all I care about is my football team, you probably hate him because he's
Right.
really good at his job.
He's not emotional. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's very calculated. He always has a play or two up his sleeve. And this is when this thing gets because no one thought that a deal would get done for Micah. Like no one thought that. No one thought that they were going to be like we were all coming into that training camp. We all thought, oh, this is going to play out the way it's always played out.
Right.
And no one's gonna who's gonna trade for Micah at this point in time. What are they gonna offer up? And is he gonna
How about 2 1s and here's $47 million a year?
like that? That was unheard of.
Yeah.
That was unheard of. So the blueprint in a sense is there. The ability to work the phones is there. The ability to convince a team you need me on this team. You need me on this wall.
You want me on this team. You need me.
And we are in a league now where let's just take like Les Snead a couple years ago, right? And his motto was F these picks. And if I have 2 first-round picks and I'm like, this is the missing piece that I need to pair up with Puka Nacua,
yeah.
F these picks. Let's go and do it. And I'll figure this thing out later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's the Eagles, it's is the compensation a lot? Yes. Is it far-fetched? If it was other agents besides this one.
Buffalo. We think we're going to be picking late again next year. I don't think anybody would give you 2 1s for the right to pay him top of the market money. I don't think.
I think 2-1, but the point that you made about it being negotiable.
Yeah.
And 1 and a 3. Like you start playing all of these scenarios, and like this particular agent said to us last night, he just said, I just need 1.
Yeah.
I just need 1.
Yeah.
And there's 31 other opportunities that I just need 1 of those to feel that my client is the missing link to what they want to do. I mean, hell, Kansas City, right? Like,
yeah. The only reason I went with Buffalo in my mind because I was trying to back in my head the trade as well, and Kansas City picks high this year, and so they'd be like, "No, you can't have that."
Yeah.
But like Buffalo at the end of the first round, like, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know the cap situation. Can they go add themselves a $36 million receiver? I don't know. I don't know what the league thinks of George Pickens.
Right. We're about to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the Cowboys would just ignore everyone and be like, no, we're just going to see him when he gets here. And then they'll be like, well, this is going to get real fun then. We'll see. We have no idea how this is going to go. In your mind today, is there a better than 25% chance that George Pickens gets traded?
Yes.
35.
No.
So Jesse Holly says there's a 30% chance.
34%.
I have no idea how they're going to play this one out. I have no idea. And you know what? I kind of love it.
No.
I want George Pickens on my team.
Buckle up.
If he's not going to be on the team, I'm interested to see how that plays out. Because if you really maximize trying to make your team the best you could after trading him, that could be fun too.
And we talked about, the picks that they need. And I know people are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to give away a guy for picks and the unknown." But this is one of those things.
I
where
love the
now,
draft, and I love this draft when you're talking second and third round. Find me some picks, baby.
you know what I mean? If I can go ahead and load up, and now I add a bunch of assets to this team, save money, add a bunch of assets with this new coaching staff to what my future is. Anything's possible.
Let's have us a fun off season.
Anything is possible.
How is all this happening and Jerry's not talking? I guess he thinks it's stirred enough.
He's stirring it from a distance.
That's plenty stirred.
Yeah.
They don't need me. They don't need me saying anything. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, we got one segment left. We're out here at the Combine. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on here, some of the guys who may now be out of reach, who the Cowboys may be looking at, who's winning and losing at the Combine. It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. And let's talk about this Diehard sale. It's a good thing to get for you. You want to go ahead and take advantage of this bad boy. I told you before, I like sales on boats, like a actual sale that makes the boat. That's not even true. I've been saying it because I think it sounds fun. I don't want to get on a sailboat.
Have you ever been on a sailboat?
If I was, I don't think so. And if I was, it was like a giant thing.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, yeah, there's a sale on this, but there's also a motor running, and there's like 12 of us out here just drinking a six-pack, like per person, obviously. But a sale for being a diehard is a great idea. The Combine sale that's going on right now, $36 for 1 year of diehard membership. You do that, you get your free T-shirt when you sign up. Maybe you want to stand in solidarity with George. Get yourself a Stay Shiesty T-shirt. Could become a throwback.
Could be.
It could become a
limited edition.
Retro.
Yes.
It could. You get that going. But yeah, it's a good sale we got going on. Instead of paying $79.99 for your first year of diehard status, you pay $36. You still get the T-shirt. You get access to Fran Duffy's draft guide, his scouting reports, his rankings, all of those things. In addition to, of course, the things you always get when you sign up to be a diehard, which is you get access to our Discord with a bunch of fellow DFW sports diehards like yourself, where we're talking about all the different sports teams, but also other things in life, including movies and television. Would you like to talk about a Night of the Seven Kingdoms with me? Hop in the Discord. Sign up to be a diehard. We could talk about that. You a big fan of Sir Duncan the Tall and Egg? Yep. Jesse loves those things.
That's my
guys.
guys.
Jesse loves those things.
Yep.
Game of Thrones prequel.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I knew that.
We got a channel in there for college football. I think we got a college basketball one too. We got one for food. All sorts of stuff. Ones where we're just hanging out and talk about whatever the heck you want with fellow DFW sports diehards.
Shout out to St. Elmo's.
I wish I liked that, but it looks like it's not cooked.
Thank you,
yeah,
Lord.
Go ahead and
Jeez,
have
I was hoping that
sign up to be a diehard or else, not a threat.
Yes.
Yes, the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We're out here in Indianapolis at the Combine, where I think it's possible that I don't know. I go back and forth on this. Sonny Styles just had maybe the best workout in the history of linebackers. Maybe. I'd have to look. Because all of the numbers that people give you will say since, and they'll say like 1999. And the reason it says 1999 is because that's as far back as the website that people are using, Mock Draftable. That's as far back as their data goes.
Right.
So it doesn't mean since 99. It might mean since 1734. We don't know because the data doesn't go back that far that they're tracking.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, a 6'5" linebacker over 240 pounds running a 4.46 40. The highest linebacker vertical maybe ever. Again, it'll just say since wherever data goes back to. Huge broad jump, explosive lower body, really good tape. I don't know if that really moves him because we knew it was going to be great. We knew he'd have a great combine. We knew he was a great athlete. Does confirming that and being like, oh, he might have jumped a little bit higher than I thought, or he might have jumped, like, I don't know if that really changes anything. I don't know if I can keep my dream alive, but we might have just lost Sonny Styles because of the Underwear Olympics.
Yeah, I think we lost
And
him.
we might have lost him before that anyway.
But it's one of those things where you ever hear, like, we've all heard about things, right? Like, we've all heard about, oh, man, this is what a Bugatti looks like. And we may have seen pictures of it. And, hey, we, pick a woman or man that you look at and you go, man, this is one beautiful human being. Yeah. And you've seen pictures of it and you heard about them, or you've heard someone perform, a singer or something like that. And then you see them live.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, this is different.
You go, damn.
Like, not that you didn't know that car was going to be nice.
Yeah.
But it's different when you're sitting in the seat of it. You're not that you didn't know that performer could hit those notes.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting in a room and you can feel it's palpable. And that's what Sonny Styles did yesterday.
Yeah.
It became palpable to a lot of people because you can watch the team, you can watch the film, and I guarantee for you, for example, and you've been on the Sonny Styles train for months.
And I told you he was going to run a 4.4 and jump 40 inches.
But you've never been to Columbus
No.
to see him play live.
No, I have
You've
not.
never seen him play live.
No.
Right? And so a lot of people are just like you who may have seen him play, may have watched the film, and then there was a ton of people across the street and they saw it live.
Yeah.
And it was, it was singular. It wasn't with a team. It wasn't amongst other great athletes. It was singular. And it was like,
It just puts the stamp on it.
God, that dude is. And you just start seeing it for what it's worth. And that's what he did yesterday.
And then I think another guy that yesterday was incredibly impressive was Caleb Banks, D tackle, Florida, and he's been projected anywhere in the top 40 to 50. And I'm seeing people saying that he may be a first-round pick now. I think he might have already been, and I don't know how he's not. And so Caleb Banks, I don't think he has the best tape of the defensive tackles in this class. But you look at what he did at the size he is, and so he's going to fall into a category as a guy that has good tape and flashes of, oh, my God. Back to what you just said about Sonny Styles. When we saw Caleb Banks take the podium out here, I went, my God. Then you run a 5-second 40-yard dash, and these jump numbers, the vertical and the broad jump of 32 inches and 9'6", like you'll see DBs jump, you see Sonny Styles jump 11 feet, and you're like, 9'6", that's not that impressive. At 330,
Right.
that's almost not human.
Right.
He is going to fall into a category of, even in a world of freak shows, the NFL, he is elite
Freaky.
athlete
Yep.
in the history of that size. And I think because of that, somebody swings pretty darn early, where you don't even have to have the elite tape, just because you exist in a space that so few people on planet Earth do, that if I get the best out of you, there ain't nobody that can deal with you.
Right.
330-pounders take 5.5 seconds to run a 40. Texas Tech's defensive tackle, Lee Hunter.
Lee Hunter.
He might be a first-round pick. Good tape. On tape, probably was ahead of Caleb Banks. His vertical jump was 21 inches. And you go, oh, so you don't measure having an explosive lower body at all.
Right.
And that guy's bigger than you, faster than you, a more explosive athlete than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, might need to flip this thing around.
You have to start weighing the odds in that thing. You have to start looking around and going, if this is the type of explosive athlete that I'm getting, big, strong, fast, physical, if I put him on my, I mean, we saw those guys in Philadelphia, right? We see the Jalen Carters and the what's the other young man's name?
Jordan Davis.
Yeah. You know, those level of athletes where you're just like, oh, that's different. And then you have a blueprint of what that looks like from the interior when these guys can just create absolute havoc by themselves.
Yeah.
With that type of size and speed and athleticism and he has that look on his face, like he looks like an uncle, even though he's not uncle age.
Yeah.
He just looks older.
He looks like he could put you in timeout, and like you,
Over the phone.
even if you did nothing wrong, you would accept it, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. I said Caleb Banks at the podium. I think I tweeted this. Like, he was very kind. Seemed like a nice guy. Doing a great job up there.
What was his podium stance?
And I was still afraid. He was doing this one, the Kurt Warner, Michael Irvin, where you just get big, and you let people feel your presence. And I backed up a little bit. Like, I was behind 40 people, and I backed up a little bit. Let me just not be too close, just in case. Another guy that I thought really helped himself at the Combine. And when I say these things, you're not going to have guys who are going to go from, oh, he might be draftable, to getting drafted 30th because of something that they do out here in non-football. The tape is king. But Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech was a guy that throughout the season, it was like, I don't know how big he is. I don't know how fast he is. Like there are boxes that you weren't sure he was going to check for you.
Right.
So it was like, where is somebody going to take him? 4th round, 5th round? And you get out here, you measure, you weigh, and you're like, okay, that's a full-size linebacker, almost. Like that size works
Right.
at linebacker in the NFL, and he runs a 4.5. And he runs the fastest short shuttle of all the linebackers, including Sonny. The fastest 3-cone of all the linebackers. So your agility numbers are great. Your jumps are great. If you had questions about the level of athlete Jacob Rodriguez was, you don't need to. If you had questions about how big he is, you don't need to. He's checking boxes left and right. So for a guy that I think months ago people were talking about maybe he could be a day 2 pick, 2nd or 3rd round, or maybe day 3. I'm debating. Like, I think I'll move him. I think I'll be putting him in front of people I didn't have him in front of. And I think, could Jacob Rodriguez be a 1st-round pick? And it only seems weird because of what you thought months ago. I think I should be able to go, you liked his tape, he forces turnovers, he's instinctual, he plays fast, and he just checked all those boxes.
I mean,
why not?
He won the defensive Heisman of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he was at the Heisman ceremony.
Right. And some people even, during the college season talked about like, oh, yeah, take a nice story. Right? Former quarterback.
Yeah.
He came over here and they switched to defense. And it was, it was
like he was Rudy, but at the Heisman ceremony.
Right. And it was like Texas Tech. Well, up front, they had the most money they spent in college football getting those D tackles up front. So he had a lot of room to flow and run and that. But you start seeing the numbers, you go, well, yeah, that's what you kind of want. You want guys in front of him that's going to be able to hold their blocks, and then you want him to be agile enough and athletic enough to go and run in space, create turnovers, make tackles, and be just a ball hawk. And the numbers show what you saw in film, that it wasn't just the guys in front of him. Like, no, this is who he is.
Yeah.
And he checked a lot of boxes yesterday that may move him up.
I saw one earlier. I know we had a super chat, I think, from Barrington. Let me make sure we don't get out of here without hitting super chats. Barrington said, do you ever play offense in a draft? I was against trading up, but if the Giants get Styles or Reese with Dex, Burns, Carter, and Tibbs, #big problem. Until the Giants have a functional offensive line, I'm just going to keep ignoring them.
Okay.
But no, they could put together a defense that has a lot of really nice pieces.
Because Giants at 5, the Washington Commanders
7.
At 7 that's what you need to look at for that Sonny Styles.
That's where Sonny's going.
Yeah.
Sonny's going number 7.
Sonny, we may still face him twice a year. It's in a different uniform.
I do struggle with this one. I think maybe you could talk me into it in the trade that Brian Broaddus keeps trying to bring to me, which is if you were going to go up for somebody and you go to Cleveland at 6 and you get back, it's 37 or 39. They get 12 and 20, you get 6 and 30-something. And I'm going back and forth in my head
because
go get
Caleb Downs.
You know how much,
You go get Caleb Downs.
You know how I feel about safeties.
You go get Caleb Downs.
But he's so good. And in this class at 12, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Would you go up for a safety? And I'll reiterate, I'm just saying, if Caleb Downs was a Cowboy, I don't think he's playing safety. Like, he's not back there with Malik Hooker. He's your nickel corner because he's your versatile chess piece. He's your star is what Saban would call it. He's whatever. And I think he's such a well-rounded player. And I don't know if I should count this, but he's also one of those guys that literally everyone who talks about Caleb Downs that's been around him, that's coached him, whatever, or anybody who talks to anybody that's done it, it's all A+++++++. Like, you want somebody to lead your defense. You want somebody to be the character of a defense. You want somebody that's going to be a culture shift. Would you trade up for Caleb Downs?
You go get Caleb Downs. I think he can be that good, and he's that important to what this defense is supposed to be under Christian Parker.
I think I might do it too. But then I got to do a 1-hour stream on what's the difference of what I think I would get at 20 versus 39, and am I okay with this? Because it's going to change the level of corner, the level of pass rusher. I think it's going to be a whole different group of names that you're working with. You have to decide, do you think that's worth it? And it might be to get it right.
Yeah.
It might be to get it right with Caleb Downs. So obviously we got all sorts of stuff going on at the Combine. So we've got this evening we'll have our next position group out on the field, DBs and tight ends. So we'll have that to talk about tomorrow. The DBs have already been measured, which I think that's a talking point. It was good for Avian Terrell, who's one of my favorites at number 20. Caleb Downs measured in just the way he was supposed to, just under 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's exactly what you thought he was going to be. So we got all sorts of combine stuff that we'll continue to go over. And we will have a show tomorrow because we traveled Tuesday. We didn't do a show. So we'll have a show for you tomorrow. We're still out here at the combine. We're still going to be rocking and rolling.
You never know who we might run into tonight again.
That's true. We might run into some people tonight. And so we appreciate you guys spending your time with us today. Make sure you smash the like button on your way out. We sure would appreciate it. And remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.